Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective, commentary on nerd culture. And I'm here with some friends, Chris.
Hi.
Jordan.
Yo.
And last but not least, behind the mic, Malcolm.
Hello, hello.
And today we're talking about inspired by the folks over at RDC. What horror movie would have ended early with black people as the main cast? And we're also reviewing a very interesting anime just centered around music and the future set in Mars, Carole and Tuesday. But first, I'm on my talkity ticks. And so I don't think that TikTok.
I know what you meant.
But so RDC does not. Do they have their own TikTok?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah,
they do.
Okay, cool. Because that's not how I saw this TikTok, which means that y'all got to get y'all content. Somebody's just ripping y'all stuff and reposting it.
Every major YouTuber that happens,
it, and then point at it in TikTok. You point at somebody else's video, like.
Yeah, right, and then you just react to it, and it
million views, bam,
it blows up.
It's hard to get
TikTok is all
famous.
about stealing other people's content.
Facts.
That is true. Now TikTok, if you want to sponsor us, we're just kidding. We're kidding.
Ni hao.
Facts. But we're going to talk about Halloween just passed, and we're going to take the time to talk about what horror movie would have ended early with black people as the main cast. As you know, the main cast of majority horror movies are the white cast. And we also the reason we are talking about this because the folks over at RDC shot a really funny TikTok on it. We'll link it. I'll share the link. But
oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie. Indeed. What movie is our pick? I had like a few somewhere around my head.
I don't watch horror movies, so I'm just gonna go with all of them for 400.
Fair.
With the exception of Get Out, because
mine would be
that's not even horror, that's real life.
Scream.
Without a doubt.
Because you know how it starts. They call him on the phone and it's like, do you want to play a game? You're gonna be like, you know what games I don't be playing? On my phone. Fuck is this calling? My phone playing on my phone.
That was the house phone, right? Was that?
Yeah, they called the house phone.
My thing is like nobody's calling the house phone. Nobody, like, at least you, like, I think at that time, right? That's set in the 90s. So people was calling the house phone.
You got caller ID in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. And
Not
so you know who's calling. I'm not picking up no unknown numbers. I don't even pick up unknown numbers now.
To this day, but
facts.
You
said
just
what?
picked it up. And it just been a weird voice. You just hung up.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah,
I'm like, I don't know
Right.
you.
Who is this? No.
I ain't got no money. You get your bill next week. And then pay it next week.
That reminds me of that Squid Games thing where the guy comes up to him like, you want to play a game? And be like, no.
No. You know what that reminds me of? And this is a white dude that's in here. The Jigsaw, a little mini Jigsaw is like lives with him. And so he walks around the house for him and just sets up death traps for him to do simple stuff. He's like, Jared, in order to brush your teeth, you have to step over 500 pieces of glass. And he's like, dude, I want to play that. What? It's the greatest piece of content.
I never watched a movie, but that sounds kind of funny.
It's the greatest piece of content.
Saw?
No, I don't watch horror movies.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
it's
that's
fine.
more suspense.
Yeah.
No,
It's
still
not
no.
scary.
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
I feel like
Not me.
Yeah.
I feel like so it's twofold, right? Any movie that you have to go to the place that, causes terror, we're good. Those movies are ending right away because we're not going.
Right.
But I feel like the ones where things are like chasing you, like we're done for. We die first. Because I'm not running from you for the rest of my life. Like, if you want me, you got me. Like, what else am I gonna do? The inevitability of it. Listen.
See, the problem with that though is that black folks roll deep. So
but if you got a problem, no, but we don't fuck with all the spiritual cuckoo shit. Ain't no seance at my house because I think it'd be funny. Ain't nobody playing that shit.
Yeah, I thought about
Ouija boards? Nah.
I thought about a couple
Absolutely
movies.
not.
One of them, well, all of my movies have to do with destinations, and so not Final
ones?
Destination because it ain't. Say what? Which one?
He said final.
No, not that one. Because that one, the thing about Final Destination, I can't really blame it on people just being white and ignorant. It was just like.
It's just crazy, right? It's just literally this
Well,
doesn't
it's
happen.
one of those you were supposed to die.
Yeah,
So again, that's
just
the one that it's like, nah,
that's
that
hard.
probably don't matter.
Oh,
Any
but
of
no,
them where they were like the woods, I'm like the woods.
that's what I'm saying. Mine's are like
I'm good.
Woods,
Jeepers
the
Creepers.
shark ones, the
Right?
fuck.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah,
the
Jeepers-
ocean
Ain't no-
period.
no.
I don't get in the
That
ocean.
don't make no sense. Saw,
I don't get in the
No
ocean.
ocean, no
Jaws.
space.
Right.
Nope.
You in the ocean.
No Jason in space.
Right.
Nope.
What was
First
that,
of all,
Space
Ain't no
Jason?
aliens
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Predator. The
Nope.
fuck you mean?
No, but I think all mine are like Wrong Turn, Jeepers Creepers, Texas
Jeepers
Chainsaw
Creepers.
Massacre. None
Yeah,
of those
Texas
should have ever
Chainsaw.
happened.
No.
And also House of Wax. None of those should have ever actually happened. You're just in places. If weird things keep happening, you don't keep staying where weird things are happening. You go. You say,
Right.
this is too weird. If anything is like I'm not vibing with, it's cool. You just go home. Like it's ain't that big of a deal. Order some food. I don't have to be in the wax museum.
So,
getting hunted down.
real life story. I'm going to Dell's with some old college friends this weekend. And like, hey, we could carpool, blah, blah. Nope. I'm driving myself.
Facts.
Because if I need to leave, I'm finna leave.
Exactly.
Yo, talk about it. That's real. That's the
facts,
worst
though.
thing,
That's
being in a place.
Yo.
Well, even
And
if
you
it wasn't
trapped.
horror related,
Every
it's
time I
just.
don't bring my car, I'm sad.
That's what I'm saying.
Every
Because
time.
you at the
Always drive
mercy
to the
of.
function.
damn.
Always.
Yeah, because you always at the mercy of like
Man.
Whoever
the
you
group
came
of
with,
people.
right.
Yo, and I don't party like
I
that.
think we
My
should.
sister
I
be
think we
having
should
me
stay and
outside.
check that out. Well, y'all do that.
Right.
I'm gonna get my car. This is exactly the reason why I bought my car.
Right.
In case y'all do some shit like this.
Right.
Yo, that's facts as fuck.
That is, yeah.
Yo,
Folks out here
not
wilding.
wrong at all. Nah, I
Couldn't be me.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because like,
Not gonna be me.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah, and that's how I think. That's what I'm saying. Like with all them horror movies, I think that is some things you can't get away from. There's certain things like zombies, certain things like
zombies, man.
You know, like the
Zombies can't
like,
swim.
sure, depending on a
Are you
zombie.
serious?
Depending on a zombie.
Is that like lore?
You ever see Army of the Dead?
No, they can't swim.
I mean, I feel like Army of the Dead zombies could swim.
Yeah, it's like them zombies is they build
You know
different.
that they came out with Army
World
of Thieves?
War Z.
I
Yes.
haven't watched it yet,
Yes.
but I'm
Train to
finna.
Busan.
He's talking about. So we were talking about
It's a
Army of
Netflix
Dead some
movie,
weeks
yeah.
back. So there's a character in Army of Dead who's a thief who actually cracks the lock to get the cash.
Yeah.
But they do his story, a prequel
It's a
in his
prequel,
story.
yeah.
And it's like old girl from Game of Thrones is in there.
Oh,
and
word?
like a few
Yeah.
other people is in there. I haven't watched it yet, but
I haven't watched it yet.
looks super
British
interesting.
The trailer on Netflix looks lit though.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, is this the time one? No. I'm
No, the
thinking of
one
a
that
different
the
person.
Army
I'm
of the
thinking
Dead
Shaun
came
of
out.
the
It had
Dead
like Dave Bautista
guy.
and like a few
I'm
other
thinking
folks
of
in it.
Shaun of the Dead. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter.
Totally
Wow.
different. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
don't
They're
get me
very
wrong, love that
different
movie.
movies.
Love
Shaun
that
of the Dead
movie.
is nice.
That
That's a cool
movie
movie.
was super.
Yeah.
The
I'm
funniest
like, oh, yeah,
zombie
no,
movie.
they get to coming out with a movie right now that's by the same director guy.
No, not so
Never
much.
mind.
Yeah, no, I just don't do horrors in general.
No, I feel you.
I'm very super borderline on thrillers too. I don't like
Yeah.
jump
What-
scares, so
I think the thing
love
about
thrillers.
thriller, I like
Nah.
the psychological part of thrillers. I like the mental
You
challenge
still haven't seen
of.
7 though, right?
I've seen.
You seen
I haven't
7?
seen it.
Seven, the old movie Seven.
Yeah, with Brad Pitt and.
Yeah, of course I seen that movie.
Somebody who hasn't seen it.
I haven't.
Me? What you
Oh,
talking
okay. I was
yeah,
like,
I'm
oh.
like
I
somebody
don't
who
watch
should see
scary
it.
shit.
No,
It's
but
not
that's
scary.
not scary. That's actually like thriller.
It's a like
There's no jump
it's a
scares.
weird-
Listen, I could
Chris,
do.
though.
I could do
Anything.
Hannibal.
Going out in public
It's
is
like
scary
Hannibal.
for Chris.
Okay,
Yeah,
then I
facts,
could
facts.
watch that.
Okay.
I could do Hannibal.
Yeah, it's like Hannibal.
I can do people killing people.
It's real life. It's real life bad people stuff. Not like
Okay,
You
okay.
can do
I can do that.
people killing people,
Spirits.
Yes.
but not supernatural things
Yeah.
killing
No.
people.
No. We
Because
don't
the
do-
supernatural things,
I don't fuck
they're
with
not
that.
even real,
I
but
don't
that's
fuck with that
scary.
shit at all.
But the things that could actually happen are that
See,
ain't
I-
really
well,
that
could
scary.
that actually happen?
I can feel-
because that's for me. I'm like, oh, you could run from somebody with a gun. Like you could run for somebody with a
serpentine
chainsaw.
pattern.
Yeah, right. Definitely not in a straight
Just
line.
zigzag, you know what I mean? Bob and weave. I'm just like-
Serpentine.
No, but for me, like people killing people, I can handle.
Sorry.
Even like the ones where they'll like capture somebody and like it's like a hostage situation. I can handle those types of movies or whatever. It's the Grudge and The Ring and that kind of bullshit.
Well, no, but that's jump scare stuff. I'm not mad at that.
That's like and haunt you in your dreams. I could never. No.
Well, you don't sleep anyway, so
I don't.
You would be fine.
Well, for when I do want to, I'd rather not be traumatized.
Facts. Man. Great section. We are on to our next segment. And Jordan, what are we talking about?
What are you reading and watching? So for those that listened to our last episode, we're sorry. We didn't have it last week, but we're back. So what are we reading and watching? So this week, obviously, watched Carole and Tuesday for our review. But on top of that, which I had mad time this week for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
that sounds glorious.
I know, right? Still watching Fire Force, which is dope. I love Fire Force. I haven't started reading anything new, just been keeping up with everything that's out. And then watched Dune last week, which was fire.
Yeah, I need to watch that this weekend.
I'm a big sci-fi nerd. I never read the Dune books.
I thought about it and then changed my mind.
To be fair, this is the first like book to movie adaptation that I've watched that I hadn't read the books, that the movie really made me want to read the books. I literally was considering going to the library and looking for those books. They're probably going to be checked out because of the movie being in theaters. But
facts.
I got my library card like 3 weeks ago for the first time in a couple years. So
it's
going to flex that.
The library card is so underrated.
It is.
Like I used to do
the TikTok page where they like slap me the credit card on the counter. That's me my library card. Like
I think I still got 15 CDs from the last time I've been to the library.
He's got like $2,000 in
that's what happened to me.
In like 2004.
That's what happened. No, like what happened to me, I did like a research project in high school. And I took like 7 books. I don't even know if I did the paper. I had like 7 books. And then they charged me for every single book. And it was like, I came back like 10 years later when my life changed and I actually needed the library. And they were like, hey, you owe us like $200.
Oh, for real? They don't even have a record of my stuff. I tried to return it one day and it was like,
well, what books? Are you donating books?
Right. But yeah, so Dune. So I watched Dune, which was fire. My wife and I watched Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which was great.
Okay.
Great.
I keep hearing mixed things about that movie.
To be fair,
but I think
I'm a big fan of Tom Hardy. I'm also a really big fan of Woody Harrelson. He did a great job as Carnage.
I'm a Woody Harrelson fan.
He was perfect for Carnage. He's literally perfect. He plays a serial killer a little bit too well, in my opinion.
Well, you seen Natural Born Killers, right?
I mean, like he's in like everything that has to do with being a creepy killer. So,
and I mean, he's hilarious in Zombieland. So,
without a doubt, Zombieland top tier.
Yeah, for sure, top tier zombie.
Double tap. Anyways,
cardio. So Venom Let There Be Carnage was great. And my meter for how good the movie was is if my wife liked it, because she's not a nerd. She doesn't like comic book movies for the most part. There's been 2 comic book movies she's liked in the history of comic movies. Black Panther and Shang-Chi. Those are it.
Oh, that's
the only ones that she's liked.
Okay.
And she liked Venom Let There Be Carnage. So
and that's a weird one to bring her in on. Like, hey, so I know you like these other 2. Venom, I know it's different.
About him like a alien hosty thing that eats faces.
I didn't go into too many details about what it was, because then she definitely wouldn't have come.
Now she can watch Parasite with you.
I don't think she would want to watch that.
Parasite?
Yeah, I was like, now she can watch Parasite because.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Korean movie.
Parasite. Oh no, not that Parasite.
That shit was amazing.
Oh no,
she probably would watch that.
That one is great though.
But she don't like reading subtitles, so probably not.
It's real good though.
I'm sure it is. I've heard it's real good. Other than that, I haven't really been reading or watching anything else new. Just everything that I've been keeping up on. What about y'all?
Other than Carole on Tuesday, the only show that I've been watching is still nerdy, so I'll bring it up. Is Lock and Key. Okay. Lock and Key's on Netflix, and the way I described it, even at the house, it's like It's like bootleg, modernized Harry Potter almost.
Okay.
But it's a show that has 2 seasons.
I think I've seen the preview. That looks good.
It's good. It is good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's based off a comic book, ain't it?
It's based off of it is really good. Yeah, me and my wife were almost finished with the 2nd season, and it's funny because I ain't gonna spoil it if you do watch it, but when you watch it, there's a lot of Harry Potter parallels, and you're like, it's Harry Potter. What's going on? And because there are certain ways different shows do like magic stuff, but then there is like one particular way where you attribute magic things to items, and then you also kind of have every character have a different personality. Then you have let's just like Voldemort, for example, is a very unique villain in Harry Potter, complex, and that's similar to the villain in Lock and Key. And so I was like, this is interesting, but it's good watch. I will watch it.
Super quick. That just made me think of when you're talking about Netflix nerdy shows. I didn't watch it recently, but it was really good. And there's supposed to be a 2nd season coming out, or was confirmed already, as Raising Dion. Have y'all watched that?
Yeah.
I heard of
You
it.
didn't like it?
You want the Raising Dion?
I did.
Yeah.
I hated
I've
that
never.
show
I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it.
I liked it a lot,
I
honestly.
watched half of the first
I never
season.
watched
I
it.
liked it a
watched
lot. It was real good.
I can't do it.
Why didn't you like it?
Kid was like Caillou.
Oh, God.
Michael
Why
B.
is the
Jordan.
disrespect?
That is mad
He was
disrespectful.
an ass. The little kid was an ass.
He was like a spoiled brat.
Oh, I don't know why I watched that shit.
Y'all are
I'm
killing
like,
me.
but
Yeah,
you
I
don't
know
like
what's going
Boruto
on.
though.
Yeah. Okay.
Raising
All right.
Dion.
Let's not slander people with Boruto references, like parallels. That's not right.
No, I did not. I didn't like it.
No.
But
It's real
So
good.
it's a
Don't
little
listen,
spoiled
don't listen
black
to the
kid,
haters,
right?
fans.
that has superpowers.
Oh, it's like, nigga, where your daddy at?
They're dead, actually.
That's the point. Nigga dead.
But
I
you
don't
know
know. I
who's
didn't
dead?
see it.
You know who's dead dad is? You know who his dead dad is? Who's his dead dad, Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
I can't breathe.
I ain't gonna lie. So that's like, does that mean it's automatic light skin energy? That explains the attitude. I'm all right with it. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm all right. I'll watch it. I'm watching it.
Why is Michael
Watch
B.
it.
Jordan in the movie just to die? Is this
It's like a listen to me, I'm your wise father, but in the
It's-
Michael B. Jordan voice.
Michael B. Jordan.
All right, you need to chill out with all this slander.
Yeah.
Anyways, it is not.
See,
for those that haven't watched that are listening
so
to
they don't
this,
confuse
don't
me with
listen to
the other
Chris.
Michael Jordan looking ass
Chris has terrible taste in favorite characters in animes.
Oh, no, that's a fact.
And-
It's your credibility is
your
sus.
credibility is zero with me personally. So
As far as favorite characters of the show, we
Right.
always gotta.
yeah.
Actually, I think I know who your favorite character is in Carole on Tuesday. Anyways,
Yeah, I
you were saying,
probably, yeah. But no, it's good. And to your point about him being spoiled, he's a single child. He's the only child, single child. He's the only child, single mom who works a lot. A single child.
He's a single child.
He's a single child. It's
hard for him.
single. Yeah, it's hard out here in these streets for a young black man. But no, like you hating. So go watch Raising Dion if you haven't watched it yet.
yeah.
It's dope. It's a Netflix original. It's actually good.
Speaking of Chris, what are you reading
Yeah.
and watching? Even though we tried to attack your
Yeah.
credibility.
Now, just on site, whatever she says, just
I too
trash
watched
it. Okay.
Dune.
Ooh, what do you think of it?
I think that movie has cemented Hans Zimmer as a
The greatest of all time.
fucking god.
I mean, but he was
is-
already.
He was. Yeah, he already was.
like-
the man didn't need more credit.
He did.
We've
My
talked
man
about
did
OSTs
Inception.
before. For
Yeah.
me, a good
yeah,
OST
yeah.
is one that just like it fits, so it almost feels seamless.
Yeah.
This
No,
was
it's like I
so
need to.
good that it was just like it was a character in the
I'm
film.
telling you,
like
when,
it was like the music was so good.
It was like
I listened to the Dune
I felt
soundtrack
it
just
physically,
because
yeah.
now. Oh my god, it's so
It's great.
So
it was a
good.
fantastic
It's
soundtrack.
so good, and the ship designs
Yeah,
were
they're great.
so good. I was like, and that made me want to read the book because I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder how the ships are
What is,
are
like, talked about?
explained
Yeah.
in the book. Because sometimes it's just like they got on a ship. Who fucking cares what it looks like?
Yeah,
That's
right.
how I usually write. Where I'm like, let your imagination run free.
Yeah, that's like Doctor
ship that gets from A to B.
Yeah, that's like Doctor Who style shit.
It can look
It's
whatever
like,
it looks
it's
like.
complex, but whatever. We're here.
It does fly shit. But like, I'm like, did they explain the ships looking like this? Because the ships are immaculate.
Yeah, they look dope.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's CG's heavy, obviously, but like, it's so seamless. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Dude.
fucking good.
It's great.
Should we?
It's
Okay.
great.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't watched
Should
it.
we
I
do
would
it?
go watch it
But
again.
since it's
I
on
was like,
HBO,
should we-
I will.
Oh,
Should
I
we
will
do
go
it again?
watch it
Review?
again.
Shit,
Yes.
I will watch it again too.
Should we
Yeah,
do a
hell
dual
yeah.
review?
I still need to go see
It might be out of the
007.
wheelhouse, but might be also in the.
It's not. It's sci-fi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might be worth
We could
it.
do Dune and Eternals.
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
Oh,
see it.
yeah. It come out-
we're
drop this
probably gonna
Friday, right?
go- Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes
I'm
out.
going to- yeah.
I
Well,
know a
technically
couple
tonight,
people
but
see
Right,
it
right, right.
Tonight, yeah.
yeah. I
But,
mean, me and
yes.
Bianca are gonna go see it on Saturday if y'all want to come.
Well, I'm gonna be out of town driving myself.
It's a great
By my lonesome.
Facts.
Yeah.
Nah, I got to.
But what
Born
else?
ahead and
Oh,
stuff.
and then just kind of reading what I've been reading. I got excited though because Mob Psycho's next season got announced, which
Yeah.
Ooh, I got to catch up now.
fucking love.
2 episodes in, but I
Mob-
love that show.
Baby Mob Psycho
That show is great.
is the background of my phone. It has been for like 2 years. Like I love Mob. So there's that, and then and Spy Family is getting ready to come out with their anime too, which
heard
I
about
also
that,
am very excited about.
So now I can get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to catch up with reading. I'm just going to be honest. It's too much. It's too much to read.
Is it?
It's too
good.
much in the
in the
atmosphere to read.
world
I don't
to
think
read.
like the
Okay, okay.
yeah. I don't think the manga's too long. But
Okay.
I'm like,
No,
cool.
what
It's
else
too
have I
many
been
things to
watching?
read.
I actually been dabbling in a bunch of different stuff. I tried to watch a couple of things from this new season of anime that came out. The King one, the little deaf King baby boy.
Oh yes, I just seen
Yeah.
some. I forgot, but yeah, he's like deaf, and it's like a little shadow thing.
Ranking
is his
of
friend.
Kings or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Interesting.
It looks like okay, and then you watch it and you're like,
It looks like it's gonna be deep.
okay,
I just seen the previews for it.
okay.
Are you okay, Chris?
Am
this might
I
be
okay?
hard. I ain't gonna hold you.
It's fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what else. There's something
is that
else
the one that's-
from
Oh,
this
okay.
season that I've
Yeah.
been watching.
I remember seeing that, but
Look, in
Might
case
need
you
to-
thought I was
I'm not
lying.
finna.
Mob is lit, bruh. I don't care what nobody say.
I can't remember what else I was watching. I don't want to pull up because you know Funimation does that sound when you open their app. Anyway,
It does.
I was watching stuff.
I didn't know that.
Like
Does
the intro?
Funimation have a? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask that on the podcast.
Potential sponsors.
I don't want to mess up those future brands.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or them affiliate links.
I'm
we
still
gonna drop in
waiting
there.
for like Manscaped to contact us, and I'll be like, no,
down.
no, guys, I'll do this one.
That's hilarious.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk
you
to
would
the
do it
guys
perfect.
about their balls.
That'd be perfect.
It's fine.
I've seen it. Never mind. Did you go over your? No, because this is gonna go left. Did you go over yours, Malcolm? What
No,
are you
I just been watching Carole and Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch some more JoJo this week because we're going next week. I'm going to visit a friend of the show, Mike. I'm gonna visit
Hey,
Mike in
lit.
Cincinnati.
Nice.
Lit.
That's what's up.
I gotta
Tell him
watch-
he
I'm
got to get
watching
back on the
more.
show.
Yeah.
Tell me
yeah.
actually. Tell him he got to. I know he's like fancy and stuff, but he should drop in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
That'd be
he
fire.
should. Right.
Yeah, he goes.
He
He
comes
goes
down
to
every
Green Bay,
once in a
so he can.
Why go to
we
Green
can
Bay
get him.
when you can
Make
go
the
to
little road
Milwaukee?
trip.
Well,
At
he
least it'll
still,
be
he still
like.
got stuff in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
we
know.
can
Sorry.
try to get him to stop here.
Yeah. No,
We
that'd
should.
be.
I mean, it's
really
on the
dope.
way.
Yeah.
Unless he's
That'd
flying
be
into
cool.
like a tiny
I
ass
don't
Green Bay
know.
airport or
I don't
something.
know.
Does Green Bay have an airport?
I think it
Yeah,
does
Green
have
Bay
a
has an
small
airport.
regional one. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dope. We're here. We're here with it, guys. You know, and I wanted to make sure we had as much time to talk about this as possible.
Yeah, we doing good.
We're gonna go really deep.
We gonna
We're
nerd
talking,
out.
yeah,
on
without a
this
doubt.
one.
And if I talk too much about music, I'm sorry, Jordan, ahead of
I
time.
am also apologizing ahead of time.
Jordan's gonna give
disclaimer.
us the feels.
I'm the resident. I just hear because I like the way
great.
it sounds.
We
For the
are.
Kyle
I got the
Sea-Dog VA say
and some of the
beats and
song, you
boops.
know, when
He
that
likes the
Isaiah
beats and
song or
boops.
Ezekiel song came out, I was like the stank face and everything. I was like, damn,
It's hard.
Go
It's hard. We are reviewing Carole and Tuesday. All spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
Every spoiler in the world.
2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Well, technically, like you
It's
said,
like
is it
one season,
is it one
but
broken
they-
up into 2
Netflix
parts?
said it
It's
was
one.
two
It's one
parts.
24
season.
episodes.
The
Netflix
way-
said,
yeah.
"I'm gonna American your anime."
They did
Yeah,
it
the
like
way
that.
it's
They
the
did
way it's
Rocky the same way.
Yeah.
True.
It aired from April 10th to October 2nd
Of this
of
year?
2019.
Oh, 2 years ago. Okay.
And so it's coming out this year because Netflix got the rights
Sure.
for it.
Makes sense.
Created by I was gonna say Watanabe. Just remind me of who's also done Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, which is why it feels
It looks
similar.
well. It's in this, and technically it's in the same universe as Cowboy Bebop.
yeah.
It feels
Yes.
like it. Yeah.
So I would go down to like the deep character list. I'm not gonna do that part because we should just do that when it comes out. You can watch it on Netflix right now. I think it might be in a couple other places, but
Yeah, I don't
Netflix is the most prominent
yeah.
place right now. This show is very interesting because it centers around everything that like anime fan wants, right? Future, space, some cool music, a weird plot that has to do with technology in some way or
And
shape
politics.
or form.
Politics.
And
Anime
politics.
loves its
Which is
politics.
essentially that's the backbone
I mean,
of any
Anime
anime.
loves
It dabbles
fucking
in
politics.
racism and
Yeah.
Right. It dabbles in. So I watched this in the dub. I
Yeah,
know
me
the
too.
original is Japanese.
Yeah, I did
but
too.
it doesn't really make sense because
all the singing is in English.
yeah, I'm like, all right. And also the English dub isn't bad.
It's not bad.
The only
liked it.
person,
Yeah.
it's another quick tidbit too, because I was doing like research on this. So Carole and say the voice singers, they actually got invited to sing at South by Southwest.
Oh, did
So
they
they
really?
performed at
That's
the
what's up.
actual South by Southwest.
For
cool.
they performed their
Yeah, they
songs
performed
from
the
this.
Carole
cool.
Tuesday songs at
Nice.
South by
Oh, that's
Southwest,
cool.
and so it's a black girl and a white girl as well.
It sounds like it.
Well, that's the thing. The English voice actor for Carole is not a black girl. It's a white girl,
Oh.
which is, I dropped the link in there. Y'all can see the whole cast, which is really odd. So the singing is totally different from the voice acting.
Well, and that's not
it's fine.
odd.
I don't care.
Like Disney does it where it's like they do both.
Yes.
Because they usually use people from musical theater fame. And they usually
Yeah,
want a more
true.
classical sound anyway. But for this type of thing, like I saw a movie I've talked about before that people have not seen, Cats Don't Dance.
I've seen Cats Don't Dance.
You have? Okay, good. So in that
haven't.
movie, they have different actors for the talking parts and the singing parts for like the animated film. You have stuff like White Christmas, where the one lady, she could dance but she wasn't a singer, so they had someone else do the singing part for her part. So that's not odd to me that the singer and the actors aren't the same voices.
Well, it was only odd when it went from the Japanese to the songs.
Yeah.
Like that was jarring for me.
Because that
but-
happened quite a bit
But
throughout
the
the
dub
episode.
Yeah, 'cause
to
it's
the singing
around
voices
music,
wasn't
right.
that big of
No.
a leap.
I think for me, both was the first time it was like, oh, I thought these songs were going to be in Japanese. But then after that time, it was I think because I listened to a lot of K-pop. So with the K-pop, they just like go back and forth between like whole verses in English to like completely in
It's
Korean
almost
and like
disrespectful. Like,
sprinkling English in
Yeah.
there, like that kind of vibe. So like it didn't bother me, I guess, as much, and it lent itself to the comedy, and you could hear that they were doing the same thing when they did the dub, that people's talking voices sound very different from their singing ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about some of that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but
Out of our favorite
because
moments.
it adds to the comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did want a quick shout out too. Is the singing voices are, I think they're actually two. They're not a group, but they came together to work on this show. Who performed at South by Southwest as well as Na Bree, and then also Selena Ann. So clearly they're not like extremely well known, but I thought it was super cool for them to like perform at South by on the
Yeah.
show and then
And then
perform in
also-
real life.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought it was like
fire.
a little meta, but I thought it was cool. So before we get into the show part, I do want to start off a little light, sorta. Not really. It's not light. It's just an
gonna sing
easier
us a song?
question. Huh?
You gonna sing us a song?
Sing us Dragon Ball Durag.
Or
I feel kind of fly.
we'll talk about it because I gotta. So I want to talk about. So there's a moment in the show, episode 1. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to structure this discussion around this podcast. Episode 1, where Tuesday meets Carole for the first time. Carole's singing on the street, doing her thing, without Carole, without Tuesday, which is kind of funny because I'm like, slapping. And she meets Tuesday, and Tuesday is like bawling her eyes out because the song, she's so beautiful, which I thought was dope. But when I saw that moment on the show, it made me think of, and not because I was riding around, I was listening to different music, like that's kind of in my shuffle. I literally have songs that are like that for me that I don't even know my Spotify, that I love, but I'm like, as soon as I hear it, I know that either I'm probably gonna tear up or something like that, or I'm like, it's gonna try to touch me on a whole other level. I'll bring up my song, but I wanted to know y'all's do y'all have any music that's like that maybe it doesn't make you cry, but it touches you on like an emotional level the same way that Carole's music did for Tuesday when they first met?
Well, for me, one, I got music, yes, and I got a basketball moment that does that too.
Oh my God.
But I won't speak on the basketball moment unless you want me to. But
I want to know.
Oh, the
Jordans.
Every time I watch it, I tear up.
What?
The
Jordan's
most perfect
last shot.
sequence
as
a Bull. The most perfect sequence in the history of basketball was like the last 10 seconds of Michael Jordan's career as a Bull. Like, yeah, it tears me up. It's so perfect, so beautiful.
Yeah.
I cry every time.
Thank you for sharing.
But you gotta think as like a how old was I then? 14.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, like, I want to be Michael Jordan. Everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan, and knowing this is the last time that we thought we were going to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went to his last game at the Bradley Center when he was a Buck, and I got this last one in when he was a Bull against the Bucks. So, like, this is the last thing Jordan ever, and it was just so beautiful. Then I just
that's how that's how I felt about Fade to Black. So I went to the movies to see Fade to Black. My mom, and I watched it because I was like, man, because I was just starting to get like on the hip hop, and then I was listening to Jay, Blueprint, and all that, and I was like, oh, he's going away. Whoa. No,
but I just got here.
But the Black Album give you them vibes too.
Yeah, I got the vinyl
My
at
name
home.
is Hov.
Yeah, I got the vinyl. Actually,
when I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I got the man, for real. I got the vinyl at home. I mean, now I can't play it because I'm like, I play it, but I'm like, you lied. You lied to me. You came back.
That was supposed to be his last shot.
Exactly. But he references Michael Jordan. Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
Then he came back with Kingdom Come. Like Michael Jordan came back to the Wizards. But, which also,
and it was never the same.
He wasn't as bad on the Wizards as people make it out to be. Which Kingdom Come isn't as
not
bad
that bad.
As people
compared
make
to
it out
Blueprint
to be.
3, maybe it's not that bad.
See, I don't mind Blueprint 3.
Off that?
Oh, that's terrible.
But
that's for the wife. That's the wife songs.
Not the golly.
The first 3-4 tracks. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because those is hard to already. Anyways, so you were saying your
music,
but
your song.
Yes.
Sorry,
but I do have songs like that. I have a lot of songs like that actually. And not really like. I don't know if anything invoke tears. I got heartbreak songs. Chris knows my songs I sing my little heart out to in the car.
Anything with a high fucking note. Sade.
Oh, yeah. I know all the falsettos in every commercial song. I just want a girl to speak to me how Sade speaks to me one day.
That woman does have a miraculous voice.
And it doesn't make sense because her talking voice and her singing voice, She has a good talking voice, but it just doesn't like. It's like this show. Like it's almost like when you hear her sing from talking. It's
her
like
and what's her name? Shoot! Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me that I can't remember her name. Angela, is it Angela?
Angela Stone? Angie Stone?
No,
Angie Stone.
she's another oldies singer, and she has that same kind of like deeper voice. Yes, her. Why can't I remember her name?
Anita Baker?
Yes, there you go. Oh, Angela.
Yeah, Angela. Ooh.
Jesus.
really,
Anita Baker.
really, Angela
I'm
Baker.
ashamed of myself. I am ashamed
With
of
your polka
myself.
dots.
Your song.
I'm
Did you
just
get
a
your song
like a
off?
great
Well,
pumpkin.
I got a lot that just invokes emotional responses because I just like music. Like the Black Album. The first song on a Southern Playlistic kind of music.
Yeah.
Aquemini.
Yes.
I love that
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Murals is also
Murals is the one for you? That's the one that gets you going?
Well, it's because
What the hell? It's like a 7-minute rap.
it is a 7-minute
barred
rap.
up song.
But also when we went to the concert with Shantae and then that was his opening song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I
first
feel
of all,
you.
that's
like
a-
you have a
connection.
memory that associates.
Well, first of all,
with
Murals
that.
was just so cold because I'm like, this nigga just
It's a cold song. It's just like a
Yeah.
7-minute
He's just going.
rap. It's not like
But that's why I like it though.
Yeah.
Because he's just going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good concept.
It's a lot. Like I got like 100 songs
yeah.
like that.
That's fair.
So
That's fair. How about y'all? 'Cause
I have a couple. I think when I was a kid, it was Alabaster Box by CeCe Winans.
that's funny.
good one.
I mean, it's good, but
That song, like, I think
classic.
the first
Yeah.
time I heard it, I was like with everybody and I was hearing her sing it. I just started crying. My mom was like, "What is wrong with you?"
sounds like
Most all the I ain't shit songs. Those are what I'm like. Same.
Damn.
Stop. Mad World makes me cry.
You talking about Fears for Tears?
Yeah.
Mad World. That one? I ain't
that
gonna
song
lie.
makes me
The
cry.
lyrical content. So I heard that. I didn't know it was that eerie until I heard somebody do a cover of it without like all the 80s instruments in it.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Because
man, this is kind of
Adam,
dark.
Adam Lambert cover that he did on American Idol.
Yeah.
Yes.
That,
That was
shit
cool.
hurted.
Yeah.
Creep used to make me cry.
Who? What?
Creep.
like
By
TLC?
Radiohead.
Oh.
Oh,
Like
okay.
TLC?
That was the one?
Right. I was like, wait a minute.
And I creep.
Right. I'm just thinking about niggas cheating on people.
Yeah, but emotional reaction to creeping on the download? Like, what's up?
Like, I've been out resonate with your pain, maybe?
I'm crying. And then, fuck, what was that? Oh, Boogie Wonderland, Slow It Down.
Slow down?
Because I watched like
play
one
that.
of those like with the When They Were Famous type things.
Yeah.
And the writers of the song were talking about how initially that song was made to be like slow, and when you listen to it slow, the lyrics like really hit, and that song's super fucking sad.
Yeah.
That song's so sad, and like then like knowing that and then listening to it like the actual version that Earth, Wind and Fire did, and like the juxtaposition between like the very lively nature of the song with the lyrics, it's almost got like a Chandelier type of thing, because Chandelier like soars in the way that it's sung or whatever, so it's up here, but the lyrics themselves are super depressing. So those are mine. I'm
Got
sure
any,
there are
Jordan?
more, but I can't remember them.
I couldn't necessarily think of like a lot of specific songs off the top of my head. Pretty much anything that's got like a melancholy piano vibe is gonna get me in my feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had one. So funny enough, I actually have like a Spotify playlist that's like when I'm feeling some type of way.
You gotta put that in the. We gotta put that in the show
My
notes.
Mind by Yebba.
Yeah.
That shit hurts
Sorry.
too.
Sorry.
No, I don't know that one.
Yeah,
No,
you're
go-
right though.
Go ahead.
It's all good. But it was funny because like the first song on this playlist, and I know exactly when I added it too, when I started this playlist too. It's by or it's called Ether. It's like AETHER. And the song, the title is "To Meet Is the Beginning of Parting." So like already it's a tragic, it's a tragic ass title for a song. And then it's just like a really emotional.
That's like in the
and
show.
It's like, and it's got kind of like damn, I'm finna break this chair. It's got like it's more electronic, but it's like super chilled.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of electronic music for those I didn't know. But it's like super, super like emotional.
Yeah.
And I remember because I heard this song like right after my grandfather passed, like a few years ago. And so like that song like was like cemented into that emotional time. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Anything with melancholy piano. That's my jam.
That's always even
That's
study.
my go-to.
I can't even listen to certain study music. I'll be like, that's a little.
Why am I got me in my feelings? Like, why am I crying? Like,
I'm mid paper. This is I'm not feeling it right
this ain't the
now.
time.
So everybody remixes the sad Naruto song.
Yes.
for studying.
Yeah.
People like, I don't know if I want to
What
feel
is
this
it?
way.
Midnight
right
Sonata does that too. It's
Yeah.
a feels
Mm-hmm.
feels song.
I got a couple songs. First one, I think, so like you brought up Black Album, so I think Allure is that one.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, it's such a, that song interesting to me just because I think about like, just like I think about my childhood, but I think particularly about my dad, who, what he describes in that song is like his wrestling. So like, all right, okay, if I can lead this, or I can go back to it. I can lead this, I can go back to it. And then, of course, his metaphor is like, oh, I'm talking about the rap game, but also talking about like the dope game.
Both.
And so I think all that gets me. But really, that's like on the surface level. What really gets me, I think, that I can't really listen to, because it also got strikes on in a personal way, is "Sing About Me," Kendrick Lamar. Only so like.
Yeah.
That album in particular, so it's two songs. He had another song, Mortal Man, which sort of does that. I don't agree with his premise of his argument in Mortal Man, but it also strikes me in that way too. So I think "Sing About Me," because I have I have a friend that died in the same manner, right? So he has that. If I die before your album drop, pop, 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 right? And I think about
Yeah, that sounds super sad.
yeah, well, yeah. Oh man, like because when I was running around like a little what's the manji in the streets with a little hoodlum, a little hoodlum. But like when I was with my friends, like they would always, oh man, but you're like a rapper, you gonna be like somebody, and like that was one of my guys. He's like, yo man, like. Yeah, I used to like freestyle. He couldn't rap for anything, but like he was like, man, like y'all need gonna be something one day. And so, knowing that dude for like 2-3 years, and then third year he like somebody kills him or whatnot. He gets like essentially killed, like assassinated, like shot in the back of the head. And so when I hear "Sing About Me," when I hear that verse, and then I mean like the girl part is like hard, like him talking about. From that perspective, it's hard. Like, I never fade away. I never fade away.
Yeah.
I think that part is like, yo, like, because I do know women like that, but I think that part, when that's the first verse, so I died before you, I was like, man, I can never play the song again. I was like, because I listened to the album a couple times through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be like, I would go get off work and I'm on my way home. I'm crying. I walk in. Girl, are you straight? I was like, I'm straight. I'm all right. So that's definitely that for me. And I have a few of them, but that one, and then also Mortal Man, because he does talk about like the expectation of like the unrealistic expectation that we put on Mortal Man. That's like the premise of the song. I just don't agree with like his examples that he's using. I'm like, all right, maybe not the strongest argument. Yeah, because he's like, he made Billie Jean. You think he touched those kids? I'm like, I mean, maybe, and this is hindsight being 2020. I'm like, R. Kelly made Ignition and like did all that stuff.
Out of all the R. Kelly catalog.
Like, not I believe I can fly.
Ignition is one of R. Kelly's greatest songs of all time. It's top 10. It's top
Ignition
10.
is top 10. R. Kelly?
Ignition. Look, it's I Believe I Can Fly somewhere in that top 10. Ignition is in that same top 10. But what it did, it shifted the culture. Okay,
It did?
Completely shifted
I'm
the
not gonna
culture.
disagree with
Come
you.
on, because you ain't gonna what you gonna put Step of the Devil Up. Ignition goes in that top 10.
Oh no.
I would
Step in the
Name of Love.
I would put both down lows before that.
I know, but it's still
Ooh,
wrong
down low.
for Ignition. But all that to say is, like Kendrick Lamar argument on like, oh man, Michael Jackson, he made such great art.
Oh, because he made
how
good
could
music.
he do that?
Yeah,
I'm like,
the greater the art, the more flawed the person, for sure.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, Van Gogh, the man cut his own ear off.
yeah, Van Gogh was going through it,
Ooh,
man.
you know what sounds so romantic? It makes me want to cry. Folding Clothes by J. Cole.
That's the one.
Sounds
The
so
upbeat
fucking-
one. See,
It's
for
so
me,
sweet. Everything about that song is so
Paris
sweet.
and Tokyo. That's a better romantic
there we go.
rap song.
Well,
or the,
yeah, something like
or
that.
the Go Baby Who Go Baby.
Yes, yes.
That song called.
No, there's a few romantic like Half Crazy does that for me too because
Yeah.
I used to sing.
Oh,
When I used to be-
oh,
when I used to-
Music Soul Child. You've outed yourself.
La 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 la.
I'm not a.
Yo, Music Soul Child used to be.
Doom, doom, doom.
And If I Had My Way by Chrisette Michele is like so romantic. It
Yeah.
makes me want to cry.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for going on that road with me.
So I can keep going.
This is why we need extra time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we got this time for this show. So this show does a few things, and before we get to like the specifics, I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if we want to compare the two or how we feel about this. I just thought it was odd. So this show does. It follows. It does. I feel like it does a good job of kind of like giving a perspective of majority of the main characters. Including Carole and Tuesday's manager, his relationship, his ex-wife, his ex-artist, including Angela, the rival, who's like, I don't really know how to categorize her as far as like comparing her to some modern day, and even Artigan, I'm clearly DJ Khaled. It's not clear as day.
DJ Khaled
DJ
meets
Khaled?
Skrillex is what it is.
Yeah, right. Very much so. No. He was so vocal about his DJness.
No, Deadmau5 doesn't talk. Yeah.
He don't talk. Yeah,
And he always has a helmet on too.
That's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
talk.
I just think
It can't be Steve Aoki because he was in there.
and they don't talk, and none of them talk. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll talk about that.
No, he's definitely bass hunter. Like,
You think so?
yeah, no, he's bass hunter mixed with somebody with actual talent.
See, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not that up. I'm not
So-
that up.
Stop it.
I'm not
But-
that up on the
But they- but the
electronic
club.
music.
Yeah,
Electronic
club
music.
scene.
Right. Well, that's your joint.
That's me, bro.
That's your
Right.
jam.
Yeah, he's
That's
our
it. He's
guy.
like, I
He's
know
talking
what
about
it
the
is.
guy.
deep, you guys are talking about the deep knowledge of rap catalogs, and I'm like, man,
But
It's
electronic,
your
though.
time to shine, Jordan.
Yep.
It's your time to shine.
But I felt like it was odd. So usually animes have like one redemption arc. They don't really like give two characters that opportunity to redeem themselves, and they did it with both Angela and with Artigan. I don't know his real name.
Etrigan.
And
yeah.
Whitney Houston
Yeah, Whitney Houston redeemed
had her
herself too.
redeeming
Whitney
thing
Houston.
too. Yeah.
Which one is Whitney? I
Laura,
thought-
his artist,
Oh,
his old
Laura.
artist.
But that don't. Nah, I mean she had, but that was a different kind of
she
redemption.
was introduced for
Oh.
a hot 5
I guess
seconds.
I'm
I don't
talking
know,
about,
really.
like-
That's not an arc. That's a
You mean from the
redemption.
beginning?
I'm talking about like went from evil
Would you
to
consider-
being
would you
helpful.
consider a mom
okay. Well, the Vegeta
redemption?
story.
Who?
The mom? Would you
No.
consider that?
Well, they kind of
What
let her
about
redeem
Tao?
herself.
Would you consider that at all?
You said no. Tao's the.
He's the programmer.
The AI. The AI.
Yeah, nah.
His was
Nah,
more like
not
a
really.
warming of his heart.
Yeah, like
wasn't really a
and the
villain.
mom didn't have a.
Right.
Again, like I said, I felt like they did a whole with Artigan and with Angela, Erdogan and Angela. They
You're
spent
going to get it
the.
one of these times.
You know what's funny?
It's a weird name.
Is the way that they have it up on the thing and the way they split it. Every time it's up on a big thing, it looks like it says Pitbull.
It does look like. I thought it was just me that noticed that.
looks like
That's
it
a
says
fact.
That's funny. That,
It looks
yeah,
cool
now you say
because
that,
it's
I can see
written-
that. Yeah.
Yo, that's a. I think.
So I was like,
um,
it doesn't really feel like Pitbull to me.
I don't know.
I mean-
So I guess what I'm asking is like, why do you think it was important for them to have
Fire.
those two
Worldwide.
Fire.
kind of like totally
trade out
flip.
Who Am I for Mr. Worldwide.
Right. Why do you feel like it was important for them to kind of like start from the beginning in one place and go all the way to the other one, especially early on with the went broke MC Hammer style, and then kind of why do y'all think that was important for that part, like for the story?
I think the biggest reason that they chose those two artists specifically to have like that particular focus is because for Erdogan at the beginning, you're like, he's the biggest thing in music right now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you have that scene where he's broken down, he panics. He's like, I haven't actually written a song in decades. Like, I haven't created any music in decades.
Yeah.
And he's the hottest thing in music, you know? So, like, you have him where he has to, like, literally refine his passion for music from, like, square one.
I related with that so hard. I hated that I resonated with him in that. I was like,
this man had to hit rock bottom to be like, oh, I do actually love music. I don't just love performing. Like, I love music. I love creating music. And then I feel like for Angela, she was so caught up on being commercially successful because of the pressure, like the pressures that were on her.
Yeah.
That like, I think initially when she wanted to sing, it was for the right motives, but then she got so caught up in the commercialization aspect of it and like the being famous and like wanting that validation, because that's what she was searching for the whole time, was like this validation. Yeah. You know, and at the end when she was finally like, you know, you two reminded me that I used to sing for fun when I was little and that was my favorite thing to do. Like, I think that's why it was important, is because Carole and Tuesday were basically a foil to the entire music industry, where it was like, hey, everybody that's not creating their own music, like, you need to go back. Yeah, you need to go back to creating your own music and stop letting computers create music for you.
Man, you know, because you gave a really good answer on that. I thought it was really interesting for, you know, right now, if you're like a music nerd like me, you go on the Billboard charts and you see you look at the top 10 spots and you see who creates the music that's in the top 10 spots. Like right now, and especially if you go on like R&B and hip hop, it's even worse. It's the same machines put in place. Same way they're like these AIs and these big corporations in the show. It wasn't that different. Like it's the same people, same songwriters, same producers, same style. Like especially R&B, like
you know what this R&B. This anime made me want? The Silk Sonic album. Yeah. This anime made me
Bruno
want
Mars,
that album.
Anderson .Paak.
Like the album, like they're going, it still got the modern like tech, but they went totally old school.
I love Anderson .Paak.
Like where it's about the song.
I love it.
And it's like this made me want that.
Yeah. I think it was really interesting when you're first introduced to Tao. Yeah. And, you know, he talks about, well, first of all, obviously, because he's just cold as hell. Yeah. You know, and then you find out later why. But
because that's why I felt like he had an arc. I felt like he was just him from jump.
It was, he didn't change really. Yeah. So when he talked about, he's like, we can literally recreate any feel. So he talks about like, he literally names dropped like Michael Jackson, Daft Punk. Yes. Obviously,
like out loud,
two of the biggest names in two vastly different genres, you know, like... You know, and for me, I'm a huge Daft Punk fan, and Michael Jackson too. But like electronic, but like I said, electronic music is my jam. Yeah. So like, and Daft Punk literally just broke up last year as a group. Yeah, they've been together for like 20 plus years or more, 30 even almost. I think it was like 28 years, something like that. They've been together for forever. Like, and so you know, when you have something like that where he's like, we can recreate an iconic sound.
No, the fuck you can't.
Yeah, and you know, and the part that pissed me off too was like, we can even create like the emotion in the song with a computer, and I was like, nah, dog, nah.
But that, I mean, but on the other side of that, a lot of the emotions that artists are portraying aren't always genuine either. Like genuine in a,
it's true.
I've been through that. Like they're actors. So
but
in the same way that they act.
The thing is, technically. I think this was part of the point of Carole on Tuesday. Technically, you can just do your chords or whatever.
Yep.
You can sway emotions, but people can tell when it's different, when it's authentic.
Yeah.
When it's just like listening to a lot of artists, but most specifically Lady Gaga, like her regular songs, and then listening to her like acoustically.
Yeah.
It's like
That child can sing
it's
her
like,
ass
dude,
off.
like do that.
Yeah.
Like I feel
Well,
that.
I mean, she does. She has her show in Vegas now.
Well, yeah,
and
she
did
does the
that
stuff
whole
with Tony
album with
Bennett
Tony Bennett.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
child can sing
Yeah.
her ass off.
Yeah, she's like an actual, like
She's
legit,
so
like
good.
artist and pianist, like cold.
Yeah.
But she does the commercial stuff because that's gonna make you the money, low
Yep.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you can
And
tell
I think
it's the
she
same
felt.
song. But
I think at the time she
feel is
felt like
different.
that was the best. That was the best way for people to hear her too, because if she had just came out with that, it's a bunch of people like
wouldn't have gone
that.
nowhere.
But she was like, I wanted to say something that, especially with her first album, she wanted to say something very specific. And so she was like, how can I make sure people hear me even if they don't really mean to hear me? This is how I go about it. Her first album has a very musical theater kid vibe to it. Which I appreciate. It's not my cup of tea, but I appreciate it a lot.
There's a do y'all know Olivia Rodrigo?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So she made the song Driver's License, and
Okay.
so the reason I bring her up is because one of the things that she just dropped her album. I think it's I don't want to get it wrong. And this is when I make this comment. This is no shade. It's actually a good album. It's just the album is called Sour. It just dropped this year. But when she dropped, the problem with the album was that it's almost just like this show. It kind of borrowed from every genre, and it borrowed from like popular kind of vibes, right? If that makes sense. So much so that they had to end up crediting different artists. So there's a song, Paramore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's I think a song called Misery that Paramore has, and they have she has a song
That's good.
sounds Good For You, which sounds very close. Yeah,
That one?
that's
Yeah.
good for you,
yeah.
which
yeah.
sounds like
Very
Misery.
much.
true.
Oh, that's her?
That's Olivia Rodrigo versus,
Interesting.
and so much so, like, again, like it was, they had to, and then she has another song where it sounds like a Taylor Swift song, and again, it's not like hip hop is not.
I kind of love that though.
I like it. I don't. Again, hip hop people don't have a problem with this. We've been doing this forever. We literally just borrow. Here's something new. Borrow. Like, so it's not like that jarring.
Everybody learns a new tool, and you see how everybody plays with that.
Exactly.
that
That's
thing.
all. Look, all I used to, making beats myself. All I do is copy other producers' methods and techniques. Oh, you did triplet hi hat like that. I'm gonna do the triplet hi hat. You do the drill little 808 slide. I'm gonna do the drill 808 slide. It's the same, but I think the difference is because of how popular Olivia Rodrigo is. Like, she's one of the most popular artists right now. It's like, oh wait, but she's like taking stuff and doing it right, and it reminded me of this show because it's like, does the AI, and she is part of the AI. She's part of the machine. All her, she got the writers, she got the producers, and she's popular. Is that a bad thing? That was my thing with the show that I didn't necessarily appreciate. It's like, I get Carole and Tuesday. That's supposed to represent like pureness.
But you know what I like though? I liked
Authenticity or whatever.
that in the when they did the Mars idol thing, like straight up judging, they would have lost.
Yeah.
Like, so that would have.
Yeah, they didn't have the slaps like that
Which
yet.
I thought they was
Nah.
gonna do because I'm like, oh, that shit
not
cold.
there yet.
Right.
like they ain't gonna beat
MGK,
that.
whatever her name was.
FK
The gravity
Twigs,
bounce?
What?
The
You talking
mermaid.
about the
FK
universe?
Twigs?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally when people
As soon as I saw her, I was like, FK Twigs.
No, when people say stuff like,
That's funny.
when the universe will, that's
Listen,
the
Gravity Bounce is my
personification
new
of it.
jam.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gravity bounce was a bop. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, when we'll talk about, actually, let's get into it. Let's talk about favorite moments of the show because I have so many of them. So even the curse word song,
Oh
I don't know the name of the song
That was
because I don't have the
With,
title. Like they don't
Mermaid
have the title.
Sisters.
Like
From the
what are they
Mermaid
called?
Sisters.
Mermaid
Oh,
Sisters.
that
was
and it was bopping too.
hilarious.
I'm like,
Yes.
if I didn't work in a Lutheran school,
That would
be
on
my ringtone.
repeat.
Yo.
loudly.
My ringtone.
It was that was bopping. Like,
That's
I was
hilarious.
like,
That song was hilarious.
what is
Her
it
reaction
called?
was hilarious.
She's like,
It threw me off too, because I'm like,
She was so
this
offended.
is
well, and
great.
at that point, I was still watching in Japanese, and I was like, I mean, if you were singing in a different language than the people that were around you, like if I sang a song of French, like the girl did, and it was all just like swear words, French swear words,
That
the
was
entire
so-
song, nobody would know, and it would sound beautiful, and you would think it was great.
It sounded like
Oh man!
They had the,
it was,
Wait.
it was technically correct. Like it was.
Right.
Oh man.
Well, there's this artist I used to love. I haven't heard anything. I'm probably gonna go look him up now later. Monsieur Nove, who's a French. So this is how much of a unicorn this man is. He is like a bald Asian man that sings in French, but he sings like neo soul style music. What? Amazing. Anyway,
this guy's an interesting life story.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Don't know.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what the fuck he's saying. It sounds beautiful. I think I ventured to look at the lyrics for one song, "Dirty as Hell," and I was like, I'm not gonna look up. Ignorance is bliss. I don't have to know that I'm listening to dirty things. I'm just gonna listen to his music.
You're just gonna come across
and
one
be
random French
happy.
person and be like,
Right. I can listen to it at work and nobody knows what I'm listening to. Like everyone's like, ooh, French music. That's so fancy. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
right. Can we just talk about how people think French music is great, but then they'll take a shit on Korean music? Like, you can't understand French either.
Yeah, nah. I mean, because if you ever hear French rap,
It ain't it.
There's
I
a
don't
whole
even think the
moment
French
in
like their rap.
history where the
yeah.
French got to decide, and they were the taste makers when it came to high art. So that's why they get the out front thing. They define high art in film,
Fashion.
and
Not Kanye does.
fashion, everything.
not Ye does. So it's over with all that.
Yeah.
So
French.
that's why people have that kind of pre-World War II. France was
I feel you.
everything.
The Louvre
France
and
was
all that.
everything for everybody in the Western world.
I feel you on that. Another favorite moment of mine's was when that Thundercat song came on. There it is.
Yeah.
It's first South by. Because it was so unsuspecting, right? You see this big burly black dude. And you're like, he out of nowhere.
They accidentally got it.
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly.
what?
I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming.
Like,
but
this is, all right, okay.
I'm like, oh, it's Thundercat.
I might have been at my work. I was at work watching this. I was like, okay, this is it. This is
Oh, you're not gonna condemn him for watching it at work, huh?
I would, but we're recording.
I had a job. I had to get it done. But I thought that was a interesting juxtaposition because like you didn't know what was going to happen at this festival. They didn't really. The show didn't really set a precedent for like how they were going to present the music.
Right.
We just heard Carole and Tuesday writing sessions, which is also one of my. I'll talk about that in a bit. But like.
Yeah.
But you don't, and then you just hear the AI, you hear Erdogan all over the place. And I'm like, is this just them two, Erdogan and Carole and Tuesday writing sessions? Is this what the music's going to be like? And then when you get to the festival, it's like,
Other music exists.
And
Right.
Crystal.
Crystal,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Crystal, grown up Ariana Grande, which was great. I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was thinking about what you were asking before about like I guess the point of like Angela and Erdogan and stuff like that. And I feel like it was almost this because I feel like it's easy to say that people in the music industry are inauthentic, especially not like being in the know with them. But like remembering that it's like these people chose a career path because they love music. And so that was like the underlying thread of all of them, that they didn't go into the music. Like none of them really like only were doing music because they were seeking out fame necessarily. All of them loved music. All of them loved to sing. They loved it. Whether they lost sight of that was like varying degrees. Even the influencer guy.
Yeah.
She was like, I thought you were just up here for more attention, but she was like,
had to
from the way that you perform, I could tell you're genuine. Right. I was like, okay, sir. Right. Yeah. But like you could there's this kind of underlying thing where it's like, yeah, nobody goes through all the heartache and stuff you have to do to get big in the music industry without actually loving music. And so I just felt like it's one of those things where it's like, I think that's the thing I loved in each of their stories is when you got the chance.
Piotr, yes.
Yeah. And also,
and
also
pow.
Doing the whole time.
And also it's like,
Pow.
if you want to get big, and this was with Angela and when they were going over the contract, like if you want to be huge, you're going to have to give in to the corporate side of it.
Yeah.
Like you have
at least
to.
eventually.
But he told them to go the Drake route.
Essentially, that's what it was.
And go independent and make them come to you basically so you can get a good price.
Exactly.
And your freedom and stuff. But off top, if you want to get that big, you have to give in.
But it's one of those things where it's like, no, like, I was thinking when I was watching this or whatever, and you see the audition show thing or whatever, Carole and Tuesday got big in a year. That is unheard of. Even in like our current music industry, people don't get big in a year.
Well, let's be real.
I mean, with that exposure, they would.
But let's be real. They weren't quite big yet. That's the point.
They were well known, but they weren't.
But they weren't big, right? They were respected.
I feel like
I
feel like Carole's story makes a look because she was doing music for a long time, and then something just popped off. Like I think about like the Justin Bieber thing. Everybody's perception of Justin Bieber is that like, oh, he's an overnight, success.
But he was on shows and stuff playing drums.
He was doing shit
like
for years before that. And
before Usher co-signed him.
Right. But it was like because he became in the public eye, was popular, and then it seemed like in an instance was famous. It felt like it happened all of a sudden, but it's like, no, this child has been like singing for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to know y'all hip hop heads' opinion on Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, let's talk because that's also one of my favorite moments.
I missed.
I'm
like,
damn,
5 episodes.
So I mean, we here with it, so I'll talk about it. So there's a moment in the show where Carole meets her longtime friend, who I think that they like.
Orphanage. Yeah, they were in the orphanage.
Yeah, the orphanage. I think they like each other. I don't know. Yeah. This show has a lot of weird moments too. I'm not gonna lie to you, but this isn't that weird of a moment. But so she reunites sorta with the. I feel it. I feel this whole moment where this guy has to be this whole different dude now because of what he went through. And so when she sees him, she's like, oh, you're like, yo, you my homie back at the orphanage. She's like, nah, I'm Ezekiel now. You know what I mean? It's like X. Oh. It ain't Malcolm no more. It's just X.
I do hate when people like that you knew like act like that in front of you and be like, boy, you don't sit your bitch ass
wiping your nose with tissues, bro.
Yeah, I feel a way about that. I'm like, you little Ray kid, chill with all that energy. That's not you, bro. Like, and it's funny because when folks that you know them, they automatically they're like, okay, I know what's going on here, but I gotta respect you because like I know what's going on. I think, but Denzel Curry, who actually voiced the character, he's the only person I think that voiced the character and I feel like they maybe wrote his character in later in the show or something because that's not a thing with any of the other people. Everybody else who has a song, they have a different voice actor in English and Japanese.
I'd be interested to know I didn't watch any like behind the scenesy stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't find much
Watanabe.
of it.
This is another Watanabe piece. I'm wondering like, did you like? Was the English song thing like your idea or was that Netflix's idea? And then it makes sense as far as like him, how he fit into that piece.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked it though. It was because it was, I ain't gonna lie to you. And I mean, I ain't gonna really talk about like what's worse. We can get to some things that we didn't like and I'll get into that too. But I don't want to like to spend too much time on it. What I did like was, so they had him do a music video and it was so interesting. I realized that that's the first time I've ever seen an anime do a rap music video.
Yeah.
Where
Listen,
the
that
person
look-
was, and he was like,
Looks
yeah,
sad.
like it was interesting. It was weird, but I didn't mind it. It was like, it wasn't off. It wasn't like inauthentic in a way. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see what they doing here. Now that second song where he,
in
The
jail.
love song for Carole.
he shoot the video in jail. I'm like, what are you, Pac? Like, what's going on? Like this,
And he had the mice agents recording it.
yo, he had the
Bruh,
agents
can we-
in the
can we
prison
Can we also talk about the
recording
fact that they had
him.
mice?
I'm like, this is not.
This,
But
this show was not subtle at all with how
not
it
even a
felt
little
about
bit.
things.
Yeah, not a
Oh,
little bit.
no.
Not
Mice
Not at
agents.
all.
Yeah.
Mice
They
agents.
had them,
And
but he
then when
had
they
them
locked
doing it with
up,
their
they locked
smartphones.
up what's his face, Chip in the gang.
And
Oh
Earth-
yeah,
the-
yes,
Earth is gonna take the jobs from the people from Mars.
Right.
No subtlety at
Earth's-
all.
The Earth's refugees.
Get those illegal immigrants out of our planet.
yeah.
They're gonna take
Yeah.
our jobs.
Well, and I feel like that was a weird thing for me too, where I'm kind of like this. Like even watching in Japanese, it felt American. Like it did not feel like
It felt American.
Yeah,
it
When
did.
I
It didn't
watched the
feel like
dub, I wouldn't. I'm
anime.
like, that'd be
Yeah.
weird. That's why I said it would be weird
Yeah.
listening in this.
that's why I'm like,
Japanese.
It felt like it was for American audiences.
Yep,
Like,
without a doubt.
I'm like, was
because you
it?
have a lot. Because I mean, you have a lot, especially in hip hop. You have a lot of protest music. You have a lot of music that's geared towards like anti-establishment.
But because
Like-
and that's as I was sitting with the show, I'm like, I know what's going on in China and Japan right now, but it's like I'm not sure if they're lit like that when it comes to protests. I saw some
I mean,
protests
Well, they
happen
kinda
last
Japan
year.
is like,
Right. Well,
But they're-
Japan's
well,
different, but
Japan
China
is
you
like-
can't.
China, you
because
can't.
Yeah.
Or you will
Japan
get
is,
lit
Niggas,
up.
the
is
best rhyme
like
disappeared.
historically and notoriously like people think of like they're very like nationalistic.
Yeah.
Like
It's true.
we are Japanese. Joe, we're just better than you. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
But they also they don't have that large refugee issue
Well,
that they highlighted.
they don't have that
They
because
don't make a
they're
big deal
very
about it. That's the
close.
thing.
Because they
You,
because
yeah,
for
they said
a
foreigner
century,
what?
for
Who?
centuries they be
You
like,
can't come here.
you step on my land, I'm gonna chop your head off.
Right.
Well, even in recent history, it's very hard
Oh,
to
yeah,
immigrate
yeah.
to Japan. It is super
Yeah.
like that's one of the things that's always interesting when people have a conversation about American immigration. I'm like, for sure, we got to do a lot of fixing. But have you tried to immigrate anywhere else in the world? Because that shit is so much harder
Because
everywhere
even
else.
the people that go back to Africa, it'd be taking them like 10 years to get their citizenship.
Yes, it's so like it's everywhere else. It's so hard, especially if you're not married to someone or you're not ethnically of that area.
Yeah.
So like if you're not ethnically Chinese, Japanese, Korean, that
Right.
shit, you probably won't ever be able to live here, and you will never be considered like native. Like
Yeah, you'll
your
never-
children's children will never be considered.
You got an
from
asterisk
here.
next to your
Not
name for the rest of your life.
Right.
That sucks.
Even though you were born and raised here. You're not Japanese. No. So like that, like thinking about immigration in a global type of thing or whatever, it's very interesting. But
Yeah.
this show does not feel like
Post production, I'm gonna have the national anthem playing behind
I'm
Chris while she's
crying.
talking.
Don't do that.
We're gonna get all sorts of
And be like,
anyways.
cancel.
The flag gonna be
Bullshit.
waving.
No, we're gonna get a whole new
like
audience.
Black
We're gonna
Cancer,
have-
I gotta go.
No, we're gonna be on like
What's funny is
MAGA TikTok.
What's funny is
Like,
No, maggot
Trevor
TikTok.
Noah just interviewed the congressman with the eye patch. What's his name?
Yeah.
The veteran.
Oh,
and he said the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's-
like America's the only country where if you're born here, you're American now.
Yeah.
period. No matter
and
what you
nobody-
say.
and
You
no
can't
other
do that
country- yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah.
Nowhere else.
Oh, you mean like if you're born in the United States, you're an American citizen?
Like
Yes.
you
Oh,
are
okay. I see
American.
what you're
Like
It's a
you're- yeah.
natural
Yeah.
citizenship.
Sure.
Yeah.
Boy,
I
no,
thought
that
you,
is-
I
that's
thought you meant
nowhere-
like people will consider you Americans.
Oh,
I'm like, well,
no.
if you ain't white,
But
you're
like
still something American.
even legally in other countries, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have a ways to go.
Yeah.
Even in just like the way, like as an immigrant like there are only a few immigrant nations in this world. You got Australia, you got Britain, asterisk, America, Canada. Like those are like the immigrant nations
I don't know that I
of
would really
the
think
world.
Britain is really included in that.
You said
That's why I said the asterisk because it's not really
big asterisk.
Yeah, it's not really, but it's like got imperialism and colonialism did a thing there.
Yeah,
and so it's
true.
heavy, big, bolded asterisk.
Yeah.
But like Canada, America, Australia, also asterisk on Australia.
Yep, without a doubt. They still wrestling.
Yeah. Big, heavy, bold asterisk.
We were talking about it the other day because Australia was a penal colony. So
literally.
It was Georgia for Great Britain.
Pretty much.
Get these niggas out of here.
And the new
They gotta go
natives
somewhere.
did
Take
not
them to
treat
the island where
old
everything
natives
can kill
very
them.
well,
Like,
but
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
let's talk about
the politics of this felt American.
Yeah, without a
yeah,
doubt.
for
Let's
sure.
talk about and I'll do this as quick as I can before we go to our representation meter, grade report, and our rating. So, some things y'all wasn't a huge fan of with the show. What are some things?
That all the music felt like it was indeed written by AI.
Without a
that was
doubt,
the
I
point.
didn't. I didn't like the
including
flow.
Carole and Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't like the flow. So, like, this is what I didn't like, and this is a small thing. I didn't like the fact that
Except for
it
Gravity
never
Bounce.
felt like the music was actually sung on stage. It felt
It
like
was all studio cuts.
yeah, which I understand, but in most cartoon-ish things, it's recorded in a way and lined up in a way where it feels like, oh, okay, this is sort of real. Like if you listen to a Pixar movie or a Disney movie when they break out a song and dance, even though it's kind of ridiculous, it feels real. Like it feels okay. I mean, you in the middle of washing dishes and doing your taxes, but you singing about America. Okay, you know what I mean.
My
But that when they went to that,
complaint
huh?
I said my complaint is technical like yours.
Yeah, because I was like, this doesn't, and it goes to like Angela's song, and it's like, that don't even. Does AI help you sing? But I don't understand how this whole thing kind of just went from this to this, and then now it's back to this, and so I wish they would have did a more of a job making it feel more real, like an actual person was singing on stage, not just an actual person was singing, recording in
Sometimes
studio.
it felt like the people singing couldn't hear the music.
What?
Like it's just like, does this voice go with this song? Did
Yeah.
y'all not swap something? Did something get mixed up in there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I feel you on that. Yeah, some of the music choices was like, I like most of the music. I just thought that the timing,
The music would be good if you were listening to an album.
exactly.
Which I did after I watched the show several
great.
times.
Gravity Bounce, shout out.
Yo,
Yeah, because my thing is like choosing a keyboard and a guitar to go together. Terrible decision.
for what they were doing too.
Mixing,
I'm
you
like, wait,
can't-
what?
And you can't listen to it and hear the guitar on a TV speaker.
Yes.
You have to listen to headphones or like I'd listen
Because you can only
in the
mix
recording
guitars
studio
in certain ways.
because
yeah.
they occupy the same frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you split left, one right, one's gonna end up drawing out the other somewhere or
And
another.
the piano drowns out the guitar most of the
And
time.
when you
Most
and
of-
you
yeah.
and you hear it, you hear when when the
Every
piano
once in a while
goes
you hear
up.
ting and you'd be like, oh yeah,
You only
she's
hear
playing.
you only hear the plucks.
Yeah,
so that the mixing, the instrument choice by itself is terrible.
Yeah.
There's a couple songs where they get it right, but I know you got to listen because they got it hard pan.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's a terrible choice of instruments to go together. That
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
they
That's a
could
good
have
point.
made her
Really
a
good
bass
point.
player.
Well,
I
And it
thought
would
about
have
that
been
too.
nice.
But also, somebody got to play the low notes. Somebody got to play the high notes.
Yeah, if
Like,
you gonna
can't
do that,
strum
but
the
they didn't even
guitar
do that.
when
They
you
literally
plug- yeah.
they're playing the exact.
Yeah.
The
Well,
exact
it's like
same.
they were playing the same notes. A lot of times they were singing the exact same notes. One of the things with like singing when you're singing with other people, that blend is so important.
Yeah.
And they clashed so many times singing together, and it was just like, oh, you are singing in unison. Meet each other in the middle, please. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, you know how it's like, it's one of those things. But you know what I'm talking about, though, when it's like when two people are singing in unison and it just goes like this.
It's because it amplifies the way, so it's like it gets piercing.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, no. Soften and like really melt. Like you almost have to, like, so hard to explain. You have to melt your vocals together.
Because it's not that you all, and that's the trick that people don't get to. You don't always have to harmonize. You just can't sing the exact tone at the exact same velocity, at the exact same. I'm like, that's
one thing that always impresses me about like the what's that guy's name? The one that's freaking amazing jazz. Oh God, I'm not gonna remember his name. It's fine. He does amazing things. He made his own chord. He's.
Oh, you talking about
You know what I'm talking about.
Jacob Collier.
Yes. Oh my God, fucking amazing. He
Ridiculous.
did those videos where he would harmonize with himself and he would build these like really, really complex compositions, but like it didn't. I was like, how are you doing that where you're singing with yourself and you don't get that thing? Because every time I used to do one of those videos, I would always delete it immediately because it would get that thing where it's like where you're singing that and it just doesn't marry right because you can't blend with yourself.
Well,
I'm like, how the fuck are you blending with yourself?
Like
I'm hearing myself and like not blending with myself.
Well, it's like because you have like a what am I thinking of? Not I don't know. I want to say resonance, but that's not so right. You have a characteristic. Like your timbre won't necessarily change. So at a certain frequency hits, it's gonna be that pierce. Yeah.
And he just doesn't get that. And I'll be like, this man's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another moment in the show, and I'll pivot unless y'all got any other moments that y'all wasn't a fan of. Yeah.
What did you not like?
Do you have any least favorite moments in the show?
Really, honestly.
Yeah, other thing I didn't.
Nothing like sticks out.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have like things I hated per se. These are just not my favorite. I also didn't understand. So they had androgynous folks. That's cool. Then they had the what's this? The Prince
David Bowie.
I thought
character.
you was about to point to yourself.
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Well, you call him David Bowie. I
Which
thought
one
they
you
were
talking
going for
about,
like Prince and.
Well, I think it's
Which
David
one?
Bowie.
It's definitely
Damien
David
guy?
Bowie.
It's David Bowie.
Yeah, I think. But the problem is that he like died, but he didn't die.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that. I don't know if that's a represent. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Initially, with his last song, I giggled because he said, "Do you remember what you said to me?
You like my cheekbones?
You like my cheekbones?" And I was like, "Wait."
I'm like,
And then wait, no, and that was the end of the phrase.
I missed that moment.
I missed that one too.
That was the first line in the song that he wanted to play them.
Oh.
It was remember
Yeah, I
what
missed
you
that.
said. You like my cheekbones.
And then it's complete silence. I'm like, oh no.
It was
What's the rest of
a
that
hard
sentence?
pause.
But then he goes like, but when I die, they'll decay with me. So how would you like them shattered? And I was like,
What?
Yeah.
Yikes!
Nigga,
But then he
I
goes
mean,
through the rest of the song, and
the
it's
song
like
was
very
good.
like ecclesiastical, where it's like you love me as much as you want, but I'm gonna like die and go away. So like, what do you really love about me? Kind of thing. It's a very beautiful song, and I
first
loved
line
it.
though was jarring.
That first line, I was like, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Cheekbones?
Yeah,
that's how I knew it was David Bowie.
Yeah, I like the music. I just don't understand his character like coming out of his slumber at the end. I didn't get it.
I'm like, well, okay.
He didn't have. He didn't have
like
enough.
coming out of a coma, I
He
guess.
didn't, he didn't have enough screen
he didn't
time to
die.
establish
why he
what
needed to
that
be
meant.
there,
Yeah,
right?
they didn't say like what he had or whatever.
They were just like
he was
sick.
like
They
David
had-
Bowie, Prince, and Michael Jackson. Like
Yes,
All mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Prince, and I guess the David Bowie makes complete sense. But I got the Prince vibe, so I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here.
Well, David Bowie would have been like the most like androgynous
Yeah.
like person.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think they
would've
had
pulled
another like there's not been another like non-binary famous person
David Bowie
like
would be
that
like-
that would have been
yeah.
iconic. David Bowie probably would have been the closest to that, but he still identified as a man.
Well, he
Yeah.
went with Iman.
He
Yeah.
did.
Can we also just chuckle
She
about
is
the fact, just
beautiful.
for a hot second, that they had that Russian dude in the contest?
Talk about the opera gangster.
opera
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
he was
was it-
Latino. He
was
was
the
Latino.
Not
The
him. Not
wankster?
him.
He was
Not
Latino.
him. Not
The-
that guy.
yeah.
Not the opera rapper.
No.
The one that was dressed in the silver that did the weird stuff with his tongue.
Oh.
The guy that actually
Martian
does that.
one?
Yeah, the Martian
Yes.
guy.
It was so
The guy
bad.
that actually does that in real life. Have you seen those videos?
Yes,
No.
I fucking love. That's what I was
Great.
like. That's
Yes.
where that comes
Yeah,
from.
they're great.
Yo,
So
they
there's
was
actually
so
a guy
mad.
that sings like that in real life. So if
Yes.
you go back through and you watch, that guy didn't make it past the first round. Yes, that person. Yes, that guy. That was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
They
that
went
and it
hard.
was
He was
so
like,
bad
I'm
when
gonna
it
sing in
happened.
real Martian
great.
singing because he's
It
a
was
native
great.
of
Yeah,
Mars.
That was hilarious.
He was
That
the only
hilarious.
native person in the whole show.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
which is
Right.
I
That,
thought
they're like the acts they got for that were great. Like the
I'll
Fire
say-
Brothers were
yes,
hilarious.
that was great. All
Those
the acts
were
was great.
hilarious.
Even
They
the
were
ones that
great,
didn't
yeah.
make it past the first round, the
The
old
opera-
people,
the
the old
opera
dudes.
gangster was hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
the opera gangster. I was like,
Opera
this
gangster was
is
great.
a banger
Hilarious.
too.
But you know what's funny?
I was
That
dancing
reminds
to
you
it.
of the actual shows. And
Yeah,
you
it
know
does.
there's a
It
black
does.
dude that was like that on American Idol.
Oh, the opera
He
thing.
had he had the baritone voice and stuff.
Oh,
He had
yeah,
this
yeah,
big
yeah.
sad homeless backstory. That nigga wasn't homeless. And they found out he was like fifth. He got like fourth
I
or fifth
remember
place.
that. Yeah, he
And they
was
found out
on the
his whole
show
back-
show,
yeah.
and they found out he
his
lied,
whole
and they were like,
backstory
"Oh,
was
you
a
gotta
lie.
go."
Yeah, and they was like, yeah, yeah.
His whole backstory was a lie. That
I ain't
was
gonna lie about
Just
being
like-
homeless.
just like
Come on,
on-
man.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in the movie were like callbacks to like regular
Yo,
music.
Yes.
Do you
history
remember?
moments.
You remember I used to do the Were you there when I used to do the impressions? You remember the one, the like, I sing the high notes and the low.
You remember
I
you
used
do
to
that, didn't you?
mimic the people, the bad auditions on American Idol with my family every season.
Yeah.
The girl that was singing the Prince song, "Women, Not No Girls, They Rule My World." Yeah. And I was like, what is she doing? What is she doing?
I
Oh.
love the people that sing ad libs during the
So good.
Yeah,
the
right.
tryouts.
Like,
I'm like, why are you ad libbing yourself? Anyways,
I know
so
I can sing. My mama said I could sing.
right.
Yo, that American
I don't
Idol
like
had me
American
doubting
Idol.
everything for a
I
long
can't.
time. I was like, I can't sing.
I
Everyone's been
can't
lying
stand.
to
I
me.
can't stand American Idol.
Yeah,
Just like,
facts.
just
If
like
I'm gonna watch
that.
it, if I'm gonna watch singing contest, I'm gonna watch a real singing contest.
Facts.
Like
Like
The
what?
Voice or something. Like
Not
where
like The Voice.
everybody
The
can
Voice is
actually
the
sing
same
on that
type
show.
of band.
No, but everybody on that show can actually sing.
See, no, well, the first couple seasons of American Idol was like a real contest.
Yes.
Like they had to
Yes.
write their own songs and they did
Their
a lot of
last
stuff.
Then they
song
fast
had to
tracked it
write.
for
Nowadays,
views.
it's just a debacle. It's literally just
Yeah.
for show. Like,
Yeah.
like less than half the people on that show can
I
actually
think
sing.
what they
Facts.
tried to do with the voice to make it more like it felt like more like it felt like like it felt like there you were dealing with just like the best singers from that round is because the judges had to curate the group
Yeah.
before the audience got to judge. They were picking the same people.
Mm-hmm.
The same people. They were picking people that felt like they had that they would have commercial value later. Because all of the show, they do the same thing.
Yeah, that's part of the thing.
Let's talk
They gotta
about
sell.
Right.
Yeah,
You got to be cute
let's-
and sound decent.
yeah.
Not even great.
let's-
Decent.
Yeah, let's talk about representation. So we're doing something new. We're gonna call this. I haven't thought of a great name for this, but we're gonna call it the representation meter or grade report. And
No
every
gratification without representation.
facts.
Wow.
Every single
Wow.
every single anime review that we do from now going forward until y'all say this is terrible in the comments, we are going to give a letter grade for the representation of people of color and all sorts of stuff. I'm really just focused on people of color and black folks in the different shows, A through F. Let's put it this way: A is great, C is you pass, could have did better, and then anything under C is just different degrees of failing. You're not gonna make it to graduation. You're not walking across the stage. I was so
Kanye
great when my
West.
teachers would tell the other kids
They're
that
not finna graduate.
you know you're not gonna graduate with the grades, right? Yo, like
And
calling
then
kids out in
you
class.
spend the
Yeah,
last
that's right.
like 3 months of school just doing extra credit on
Yo,
top of all your finals.
Glad that wasn't my life.
Insane.
that wasn't my life either. My mom kicked my
So
ass.
let's do it. How do we think?
That was my life. 'Cause I didn't do none of the work. Until the last 3 weeks of school.
Nigga, I was wilding.
Wildin'. How do we think Carole and Tuesday did in representation? Letter grade A through F.
I'm gonna give it an A for light skin energy.
Facts. Varying degrees of light skin energy.
Varying degrees of light skin energy. There was one dark skinned Negro in that whole
Yeah,
show.
Skip. That was the
Yeah,
only.
that was the only one. I'm gonna give him a D for for diaspora.
Right. Because they was all like racially ambiguous.
Yeah,
really,
it was hella light skinned folks in there, and then the whites.
Yes,
that was it. Like, wasn't even no other races. It was
Yeah.
just light skins
No,
and
there was
whites.
one Latino guy, the opera guy.
Yeah, the opera guy was Latin.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
He's
But
still
even he
light-skinned.
was light
He's
skinned.
still light-skinned.
Right, he's still light skinned.
Lights are still light skinned.
Right.
Well, I think that's one of the problems with like representation is they're like the good representation. It's like you have to show the best of us in order for it to be good representation. And for some people that means light skin, ambiguous looking, the curly nice hair, and not the kinky coily hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got you here for a representation.
We're here filling our quotas.
So we're not as
It's like
light
it's too much
skinned up
light
here.
skin energy in this room.
She's gonna get blinded over there by the light shining off, reflecting off my pale ass face.
So you gave it a A.
But like my legit score, I would probably say like maybe like a B minus.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they did it like I think they did a good job of showcasing the fact that music has such a big impact in Black culture and Black society, you know, because like music, dance, like a lot of that is a lot of African cultures, you know, like music, a lot of music nowadays, like hip hop, jazz, blues, all these different genres that originated from the Black community.
Yeah.
You know,
Rock, without a doubt.
right? Pretty much everything musically came from
Country,
Black folks.
all of it. Like,
right.
It's crazy.
Cause we like that.
Yeah.
But so I think that it did a pretty good job of showcasing that. I thought the representation overall, like there weren't any problematic characters in my opinion. Could they have done with a little bit more like diversity in their color? Yeah, for sure. That's why it doesn't get an A.
Yeah.
And I feel like they tried right at the end to touch on the racial aspect of it with like skipping his band getting arrested at the end.
And Denzel Curry.
Yeah, and Ezekiel getting arrested for their music. But I was kind of like a little like if you're gonna do that, they should have introduced that earlier in the show. Like that should have been a theme instead of it being like the cherry.
It
on
was
top at
literally
the
like
end,
episode 16, and then he got.
No, it was later than that. It was like the last few episodes.
And then they got in at the end, it was the love. I'm like,
yeah, right.
What? This is quick. It's progressed quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably give it like a B minus.
Cool.
What y'all think?
I'm at like a C. I think that so it's interesting while Jordan was talking, I'm thinking of like a bunch of different like backstory type shit. One of the things that made I think Cowboy Bebop nice, especially when you think about the diversity in that, is that it was just like diversity and it like was everybody from everywhere.
Yeah.
This was odd in that it was like what it like was it it's one of those, was it diverse? It was, but then it's like, but for some reason, all of the people from Earth that were are highlighted were like the Black people. There's one Latino guy. Maybe Tao is Asian, but he's actually like not like a real person.
He was born in a lab, right?
And I'm like, I'm watching an anime with no Asians in it at all. I'm like, what is this, Attack on Titan?
And real quick, I'll say that whole Born in the Lab thing made no sense.
No, it didn't.
Like it didn't help the story.
It just they threw that piece in there randomly.
They could have just had like actual
there.
Parents and
yeah. It made their relationship less like on the creepy end because it was like, no, Tao, she doesn't know, but Tao cares for her because that's his like
his lab
little sister, right? Where
sister?
That was the thing I didn't
by the
like.
same doctor.
I didn't like Carole's or not Carole. Tuesday's thing with the reporter.
Yeah,
I was like, girl,
weird.
what did you think was going to
you-
happen? He's like,
you-
twice your age.
right.
Ma'am, you are 17
She was,
years old.
and they never
Calm
resolved
down.
it.
No.
No.
She just like, oh, I'm heartbroken. You
Which
want to talk about it?
You
Nah.
broke your own heart with your unrequited love.
And you,
Child, sit down.
I see what you did there. Because the song.
Oh, was there a
That-
song?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
song.
that's the Thundercat song. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even know. I thought that's what you were referring to.
No. I was
Call
just
back.
using it as like a word.
Fair.
But yeah, I'll give it a C. I think it's just maybe I'd give it a B. I don't know. I'm between C and B, just because I'm kind of like
B minus.
Join me at a B minus.
yeah, I could do B minus then.
Join me.
Only because it was definitely like a nothing was problematic, but it wasn't like as diverse as you. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, what did they just all the white people move to Mars, and they kept all the people of color, mostly black people, on Earth. And now they have this immigration issue.
I mean, that's
I would
like
have been
any
okay.
sci-fi movie.
The thing is right.
The rich
Facts.
white folks escape Earth.
yeah.
Well, I would have
Right.
been okay with that if they explained that. I would have
Yeah.
been all right with that story if that was
and there
the
were
story.
a couple protest scenes where you could see people, white people. There wasn't diversity outside of black and white, which I think America falls
They had
in
the
with
signs
anyway.
when she was going against immigration.
No, so
Very
I think that
American.
was
Yeah, for
there,
sure.
I think maybe that also helped this feel more American because the definition of diversity was just black and white.
Which is
And
a
not
problematic
everybody else.
definition. Problematic.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not inaccurate, I guess, if there's no Asian people in the popular music scene, because and we do that in America too.
Yeah, fair.
It's like Asian people singing, they don't allow that here.
Yeah,
And God forbid they want to rap.
right.
Be instantly ostracized.
Yeah, I like to B minus the consensus. I'm going with that too. I'll hop on a bandwagon. Again, I didn't have no expectations for the show to do that,
Right.
but and I feel like in the content of like the music, and even their attempts at doing the Russian guy, the different, like they had different elements of like, oh, this was a nice little slice I didn't expect to get. Like this is kind of cool. The little Rat Pack curse word song thing, like all the different things that they're doing, they're like looking at different, they're like pulling different pieces of culture. So I did respect that, but I agree. With everything else, that ain't gonna be no echo for it. But yeah.
I think I might think they did a little better job than you guys think. Well, B.
Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna go to A. I'm like, you.
B, maybe B plus, because even still color wise, there was all but they had like not every black person did rap.
Right, exactly.
Or
Yeah, I
none of
appreciated
them,
that.
none of them sang R&B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
R&B, I miss it.
but you got Thundercat, who was like
Yeah.
hard looking dude, whatever. But he's like a legit so.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff, I think they did well. Where it's like every black person that got on stage wasn't rapping or singing R&B or whatever.
I think what they missed in the racial diversity, they
Right.
swapped over to like more like gender diversity stuff. They played a
That's
lot
very
with
true.
like
True.
there was like a like
Lesbian and
lesbian couples,
non-binary.
non-binary people.
Which they did my man dirty.
Which man?
Which one?
The manager.
Oh, Gus.
Gus,
Because he introduced her to
he's
a new
going-
girlfriend.
Yeah, he was like, yo, I feel like I made some mistakes. Yeah, I did too. I just want to tell you, I'm getting married.
But he
Word?
wished her well though.
Yeah,
They
he
had a
handled
good
it like a
party.
G.
cool with it.
But I just was like, that's
I think
hard.
though
Like,
that
nah,
it was
that's
like they
hard.
were
I hope y'all
divorced
burned,
for a
like-
long time. She
Yeah.
had to tell him
Yeah.
because there was an amicable split.
And they still seem cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
they
Yeah.
were cool, but it was like she has to tell you, and he's like, "Well, I hope you end up happy this time."
Again,
It
he
didn't work
handled
out
it like
with
a
us.
G, but his heart was, you know what I mean?
I don't think his
Let
heart
No, I
was
don't think his heart was
broken.
broken.
You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
I
like
don't
one of
think it
those
was
just deep
broken.
sighs and then it's over
Yeah.
type of moments.
you think
Whereas,
that was
like,
a deep sigh
No,
and it's
I
over?
think it was
moment?
a deep sigh. Like, man, I really did fuck that up, but like it fucked up. It's
it's
not
a
like
deep
I'm gonna
sigh.
go back.
My Minnesota story. It's the deep sigh and it's over.
What?
Big old roommate, big party. You going to Minnesota, girl? They gonna probably end up getting married. Blah blah blah. Like 2 months later, he came back. Like, dude, what happened? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, we good. Never brought it up again.
Yo.
I feel you on that. But no, I just was like, man, this dude, because he went through a lot. But I did like his story arc a lot. But anyway, speaking of, we did our letter grades. We're going to rating, and we outrate 1 to 10. No 7s, only adjustable 6s. 1 being I will never watch this again. Right, shout out to the Red Pill. And a 10, completely bingeable show. I will watch this again. I'll start this time, and I'll go with a. Dang, I didn't really think about this part. It's hard because I almost gave it the one we're not supposed to give it. I'll give it an 8. Because it had so many good elements that it's hard for me to be like. They literally tried the music. They tried to give a good story, even though it was like the whole immigration thing.
It got wonky.
Yeah, it got wonky, especially at the end.
Especially because Carole and Tuesday never really took a stance. But that's
I mean, they just sung like
They did the We Are the
just
World
like,
joint.
everybody get
Yo,
that was
that's
cold,
what but
Yeah.
you know what? That reminded me of that
Yeah,
because
that's
I
what
was
it
like,
was.
are they trying to ode to
Michael
this?
said he was waiting for somebody to give somebody the Michael Jackson look.
Yes. That was actually funny too.
Like,
If you watch
I am giving gold. You
y'all
are
ever
giving
watched-
rust.
y'all
sir.
ever watch the background where like one of the white male singers
The
is
same
trying
one
to
from
coach?
same one from the
Yes.
that he was looking at in the actual song.
Yes, he was. Well, he's trying to coach this other girl who's doing terrible, and then Michael just
Cyndi Lauper, I think.
yeah,
Oh,
yes,
I
Cyndi
love
Lauper,
Cyndi
and then
Lauper,
Michael's
though.
just there, and he's like, "It's here," and then here,
Lionel
and
Richie
then-
do it.
oh my gosh. I gotta link that in the show
Classic.
notes. Yo,
Yeah,
because
classic.
like there's a point where also Michael walks off and he's like it's this is the note. This
And it just turns around.
like you're not singing it right. Oh, that was great. So that was a better version of that. So I'll give it an 8. They tried a lot of good things.
Crystal and Whitney was singing.
Yeah.
They-
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You could tell in that song they're the best singers on stage.
Yeah.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Wonky ending, but good show. I wouldn't necessarily watch it again like bingeable, but I did appreciate all the efforts they made.
Yeah, I'd probably give it an 8 too. Good story. I enjoyed it. You know, I usually don't have a lot of expectations. And like the first probably 15, 20 minutes of the anime, I wasn't like, oh, I love this. But like it grew on me in the first few episodes. And then I really enjoyed it. And I actually got my wife to start watching it. So,
Nice.
which any anime that I get my wife to watch is a
She
good
should
anime.
be a 10,
'cause-
right?
Nice.
Right. Because she ain't about that life.
That's commercial appeal.
Right, exactly. So, but no, I'd probably give it an 8. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Is it me? Oh, I'm in Lance's trap where I want to say 7, but I think I'm
Right.
gonna say 8 too. The music, I would listen to a lot of the music again, like just like the soundtrack. I would listen
Gravity
to.
Bound.
Facts.
Like so a music anime that's like where the music is the selling point, and
Right.
and I'm sold. I give you props on that.
Yeah.
And plus like all my little, and he pulled out a Neumann.
Yo,
You-
first of all, when he said that, I was like,
As soon as he pulled the mic from him, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that's a
like,
Neumann.
Neumann. What?
And then they reference it. I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. I like him. I
Yeah.
like him.
I appreciate the show for doing that because they didn't have to do that. They could have been
Yeah.
like, this is a $500
Wait, are
mic.
y'all the
mic.
type of producers that make people do 1,000,000 takes?
Of course.
See, now this is the thing.
That was pretty funny.
Most people record I'm supposed to be nice to. But if you telling me like, oh, we gonna put this out, oh, you doing it 100 times.
I don't even like recording my friends because they like,
Listen.
and I'm not even like, we're just tracking and they're like, oh, that's cool, that's good. No,
And I'm
do this again.
punch in or no punch in.
No punch in. It just
Sometimes
okay.
you gotta punch in though.
Sometimes you do, but it's so unnatural sometimes because or how certain people do it.
Well, if you punch in, you do it 100 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got to get the right take.
Exactly. That's because that's how I had to do. And that's so. First of all, I know you in the middle of yours. I just thought it was so cool their whole studio thing because it made me think of a studio that's no longer in existence. That's a classic kind of studio here in Milwaukee, which is the Band Center, which is the crustiest, dirtiest, nastiest, stinkiest studio. But
Imagine if you had a finished basement and it flooded. That's the Band
that
Center.
literally don't make any sense.
That's what the Band Center looks
Exactly.
like. It looked
it's
like
exactly
that. It
what it
smelled
looked like. It looked like the hotel. You know, we were just talking about horror movies earlier. It looked like the hotel that you make a wrong turn and you end up at, the motel. That's what it looked like. It literally was a motel. Yeah. But everybody that was anybody went there. And that's what that place reminded me of, where he's like in the middle of the nowhere, like grungy, dirty, like they're like, "Are you sure?" Like,
this is swinging the
yo.
Because I mean, with when we used to sing, my god sister, she would always be like, "All right," like we would sing it a million times, and we would get the one good one, and she's like, "Okay, let's do it again in case it was a fluke." And then if we messed up the next time, then it was like, okay, we got another hour of practice.
That's telling you, man.
We would be practicing singing for like 7 hours.
That's why I couldn't even do it.
But we had like stressful. A set list of like 20 songs.
First of all, too many songs. Let's trim that set list down.
Like they stuff in like praise and worship stuff.
That makes sense. I mean, that's a lot of music.
Well, they had the all day venues and stuff.
Yeah, we used to be
I
out
don't
there
miss
from
that.
like 12 to 6.
I don't miss that. Anyways, my bad. I ain't mean to cut you off in the middle of your joint.
With your
I think
rating.
I'm done. The music, the microphone thing.
Yeah, that was like,
that was great.
Care.
Rick Rubin pulled out the microphone like, oh, and they about to record it Motown style with just the one take.
Yeah.
Everything in one,
Everything one take, everything in one
I was looking
room.
for the tape machine.
Mm-hmm. I was sure that was gonna come up.
Right.
We're doing this on a vinyl.
Right.
I think I have to give it an 8 too. I think if not for the weird plot stuff at the end, it would be a 9.
It was like, plot? What plots?
Right. If it wasn't for like the
everything
weird
broke,
plot
everything
shit.
fixed.
Right. That whole bit, I think, makes it an 8. If it wasn't for that, it would be a 9 for me. But because of that, it's resting comfortably at an 8.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy
between the two circles, just
Right at the.
Yep. Right in the.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoy.
I know what you was gonna say. Go ahead and say it.
What was I gonna say?
I enjoyed this anime a lot. I would love to watch more like this. Like even if y'all are watching this and y'all have any suggestions, I know we have a few in a pipeline, which I forgot to talk about. We'll talk about it after. But I enjoyed this a lot. Like it was almost like this show was made for this podcast. So I appreciated it.
Right,
like being able to watch
it. The anime heads, and then you got the music heads in the anime heads.
Yeah, and then you got all like the black in the representation stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an anime that covered a lot of stuff. So I did appreciate it. So other than that, y'all know the slogan: stay colorful. Peace.